Okay, think we've done it. If you see me live and you're here, please say hello in the comments, please. Super excited to be able to teach today. Ah, hello. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know who's excited to learn about unraveling the feelings of motherhood. Megan's here, Elizabeth's here, Cherie's here. There's like such a lag today. So just know today then, we're all just gonna know this, that there is almost like a 30-second lag today. Super excited to have everybody here. The material I have, again, it's like noteworthy. Like you may want to have a notebook handy because I'm going to actually screen share a couple of diagrams. I'm going to share some stuff that we share in the Elevated Mother Experience program. I mean, obviously, and then unless you're in the program, you don't have the full context of all the ways we use these things, but they're very important to understand what we're going to talk about today. My name is Robin Whitworth. Super excited to have you guys on here. I know I've said that, but every time I get to teach on a Free Friday class, I'm all excited this whole morning. I just get so excited. So I'm the CEO of Elevated Mother Brand, creator of this community and the program, and it's just grown so much. And the mission is getting out. The message of what we do here is getting out. If you love this group, by the way, if you love the Elevated Mother Collective and you've loved our classes and you're coming on, please invite friends. This is a group you can invite friends to. Take the URL from your computer, your phone, whatever, and share it with a friend that you're like, hey, I'm in this mom's group. It's awesome. They teach free classes that I've been going to for all this time, and they're awesome, right? So really excited to be here. And I want you to know that one of the biggest reasons this mission is moving forward the way that it is because of my team. If you are an Elevated Mother specialist or a brand ambassador, will you give a little wave in the comments so everyone knows that you're here? Everybody that comes in to the Elevated Mother Collective is assigned an Elevated Mother or an elevation specialist. Say that 7 times fast. And so if you're like, do I have an elevation specialist? I might be yours. Some of you get lucky. If you don't know who yours is, put in the comments, I don't know who my elevation specialist is. If I've been the one that's kind of messaging you in Messenger, it's probably me. Megan is one of our brand ambassadors. She helps people to come into this group and know what we're doing, get familiar with what we can serve, how we can serve you. It's so awesome. So if anyone else is messaging you about the Elevated Mother programs and whatnot, it's not us. It should be these ladies: Mitzi Reber, Cherie Carlisle, Heather Shoemaker, Christy Garcia, Megan Hayward. These are our official ladies that reach out and talk to people in social on behalf of the brand. So they're waving their hands in here. Again, be brave. If you're like, I don't know who my specialist is, just put in there, I'm not sure who mine is, and they'll be like, I'm yours. So really awesome to have you here. Content. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about unraveling the feelings of motherhood. And I'm not even going to lie here. I have some really powerful team members, really amazing people. And one of them is Cherie Carlisle. And she teaches about emotions. It's like her profession. So as I was preparing my notes today, I'm not even going to lie. I had feelings. Of a little bit like, what's Cherie going to think about this? And I've been working with Cherie for 2 years. I just wanted to share that because sometimes we can get in our own heads that we aren't good enough to teach something that we use every day. And as I tell my team all the time, and I told myself this morning, what I know is enough. What I know is enough to teach this class today. Now, while I'm sure that Cherie will have amazing comments to share, what I know is enough. And it's served me all of this time. And it's important context because this is what I'm going to be talking about today is our self-trust, our self-concept matters to everything that we do. Thank you, Cherie. But it doesn't mean that once I have great self-confidence and self-trust in myself, that the human within me isn't going to occasionally be like, are you sure about that? Right? My human, my ego is going to want to protect me. It wants the best for my body and to keep me safe. So it is going to pop up sometimes and be like, hey, are you sure? Are you sure that you do that because you know this? And it helps me reconcile where I have some growth. It helps me. And I was able to use my skills this morning and be like, yes, Cherie knows this so well. What a gift it is to have her on my call today so that she can add even a greater layer should she feel called to do that. Right? Those are skills I've developed over several years of being able to sit in my emotion, figure out what my thoughts have been, what's the messages, and move into where did it even come from and what's the story I want to write. And that is the skills I'm going to teach you guys today. I am going to teach you guys today. It's going to be so fun. So let's talk about if I'm talking to the right people though. There's been seasons of motherhood in my life. I say seasons because I really feel like, oh, is my team trying to come in here, guys? I don't know if when you're streaming, you don't see participants. Hang on. What are you guys talking about? Oh, Heather was just, I thought you guys were saying you were trying to come into Zoom, which would be fine. If the team wants to come onto the Zoom, you can. Heather was on Slack. That's what I get for having notifications on. Slack is something we use for our team. There have been seasons in motherhood where I felt a lot of guilt. Often, I felt a lot of guilt for lots of things. Getting my kid to preschool late more than half the time, not getting my laundry all the way finished and sending my kid to school with a shirt that had yogurt on it on the corner, not brushing my daughter's hair that day, sending my kid to soccer with a uniform that had stains on it. What are all the things, right? All the things that I was seeing the outside world might judge me for. And then I was translating that to my child will be judged. This is what I've learned is so much that I was taking the experience I was having and what I'd identified was worth judging and then putting that experience on my kid and feeling guilty for it. Anybody? You may not have understood it in that way, but have you done that? Where you thought of an outside circumstance, judged yourself for how you showed up in it, then you felt bad that your kid was going to experience something. That's mom guilt to a T. We can also have mom guilt where we're like, oh, my poor child is going to play at the daycare center today, and I should be with them. That's not okay. Right? We have self-shame. Maybe if I'd gotten that second degree, this wouldn't be happening. If I was more patient, I could just work from home. But I love dropping my kids at the daycare. Why do I love that? I'm a bad mom. These are all things I've heard and felt myself. Then there's fear. These are all emotions we felt that I felt in seasons of motherhood. And if you relate, please put it in the comments. This is a safe space here. No one is judging you. I'm sharing my personal experience here. Fear, being really afraid when the bills are coming in and seeing that my kid wants to be on this soccer team and the other kid wants to do this club and then that kid wants to do that amazing opportunity. And I'm like, I don't think I have the money to do this. Talk about guilt, shame, and fear all wrapped up into one, right? You guys are all relating. This is so good. One of the other ones I identified in prep for this class was fatigue. Like actually sitting in this kind of emotional whirlwind for years, ups and downs, right? I had joy. I had, and still do, pure moments of just like, oh, so cute, snuggling with my kids on the couch. It's such a dream come true. Like all of those moments, reading books with them in their bed, going on family trips and seeing their faces light up, like so much joy. So much joy. But a huge chunk was also a lot of these things. Now, I mentioned in the beginning, we are human. So I'm still going to feel guilt, shame, fear, these different things on different occasions because I'm living a day I've never lived. In case you haven't thought of that before, I have never lived May 3rd, 2024. Never. I've never lived today. So whatever comes my way today is brand new, and there may be a new experience where some of these patterns that kept me safe for a long time may pop up because my ego will say, oh, this is the right pattern. This is what you do when you're scared. This is what you do when things are new. And we're going to talk about that. But fatigue, going through the cycle of deep, uncomfortable, negative feelings almost on the daily during a certain season of my motherhood, created fatigue. I call it emotional fatigue. Maybe there's a more scientific word for it, Sheree. I don't know. But emotional fatigue, like the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs. And it was just like, am I crazy? Like, is this normal? Can we normalize, friends? Can we normalize that we feel a lot of things all day? But there was even a season where often I was so fatigued with just making decisions, decision fatigue. Just making decisions was like, and even now and then, I'll still have a day where a lot of decisions are being made in the home, maybe like right before a vacation. And I'm like, I'm not making decisions. Like, I'm not making decisions. I don't want to choose anything. I don't care where we go to dinner. I don't care what underwear you choose. Like, just, like I don't want to do this. And when I would get into that fatigue, what I identified was that I would move into apathy. That's when I would just sit and just let the laundry pile up. We got lots of takeout. I'm not judging that this happens, but this is the symptom of emotional fatigue that we don't know how to deal with. So we move into apathy. Well, I better just not do anything. Because when I try to do something, the emotional attack that I feel is so heavy and I don't know what to do with it that I don't want to do anything because I know that's what will happen. Am I real yet, friends? Am I real yet? And when you're in that space, you start to create a pattern that says, am I even a good mom? My kids have to deserve better than this. They deserve to have the mom that can get up and do her, these are my thoughts, the mom that could get up and do her hair and stay on top of the laundry. They deserve better than this. I need to be better. And on it went for a long time. This deep dive, and then I'd come up for air, deep dive, come up for air. And during all that time, I didn't have the skills. I did not have a group like this where someone was telling me this was normal. So a lot of the time when I'm sitting in this And I know there are hundreds of moms across maybe even just my own city that don't have the knowledge, don't have the skills, don't have this group to help them realize how normal this is. That there are not, can we just normalize this? There are not mothers out there that have never felt these feelings. There are not human females out there that don't have feelings. There might be people that are real good at suppressing it. There might be people that are putting on a facade. But studies show us we're all human and we all experience this. And what was beautiful is when I started getting into spaces where women were vulnerable and they started talking about this. And I was like, oh, they do it too. So wait a second. That's where my brain started being challenged of like, maybe this isn't a symptom that I'm not a good mom. What a momentous shift, ladies, that you can choose to have. When you find a space where we're normalizing, do I need it? How do I got dark outside all of a sudden? Ooh, that didn't make it better. Ooh, let's go back to the regular light. Anyway, when you're in a space where you're normalizing that all moms struggle and all moms have moments where they're awesome, things are working out. It is the human condition when we go up and down. And I'm going to teach you about that process. So if you have a notebook, are you guys ready for this? Are you ready for some notes? I love good notes because these notes that I'm going to give you today are universal. Do you know what that means? It means you can use it over and over. That these are things that it's just the pattern. It's just how it is. It's just awesome. So Alicia says she's ready. I'm ready too. So I'm going to maybe use the whiteboard. Should we see what that looks like? Oh, this is why I need two screens right now. We'll see. We'll see. You guys see a whiteboard? Or is it just black? I know there's a lag, so. So let me know if you see a whiteboard. Little thumbs up. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So here you have, whoa, that's huge. Where's the undo button? Okay, let's try again. Here at the top, this is kind of like your head. It's really big and awesome. Okay. If you're watching this on a phone, you might have to scroll around to see it. I'm not sure. But I hope you can kind of see all this. Can everybody see from the top to bottom, the human experience is written at the bottom? So all around the energies of the world, God has created all matter already. And human beings, through our experience, we create thought matter. And if you want to go really deep, there's like every living thing kind of contributes to this thought matter. And so thoughts will come in and out and in and out and in and out. And it's the ones that our brain decides to grab onto, usually because of patterns in our life. We choose to grab onto a thought. A thought comes to us. We choose to grab onto it. Then it goes kind of down the funnel, and our ideas, our beliefs, things we've already formed, our paradigm, it's like almost like the little filter. It's like, it percolates through maybe a colander and we decide something about it. A thought comes to us, and then we use our belief systems, everything we've ever been taught, to decide something about this. So the thought itself is not right or wrong, good or bad, whatever. And all thoughts have different vibrational frequencies, right? So once we decide something about this thought that we have, and then our beliefs get onto it and say, okay, according to our belief system, things we believe, this is how we feel about this. And then it sends the vibration into the human body. It starts coming in, and you have an emotional activation. And this is, once you know it and you start recognizing it, you can start to, I don't even want to say control it, but be aware of it, to where you can start to be aware of the feelings, aware, and you go, what belief was that? And these are the steps I'm going to give you today, okay? Realize that every feeling, so I've called it the emotional bridge. That's what a lot of books, people that teach this, science, mindset, spiritual, whatever, it's all the same stuff. They might use different language. For me, the emotional bridge makes sense, that it's that kind of that bridge from just idea energy, like imagination, to inside the physical. And so I call it the emotional bridge, kind of from spiritual to physical. And every feeling that you have, if you don't have these skills right now, you can grow them and learn them in the Elevated Mother experience. But it's important for you to know this, because we can't just say, oh, here's how you control your feelings. You should just be able to control it. And you don't understand this process, it's impossible. To tell someone you can just control your thoughts are actually just coming and going all the time. It's when we decide something about it, dwell on it, grab it, keep it, hold it, and have an emotional response. Yes, we can learn skills of how to shift that experience. But to tell a child you can control your thoughts is actually impossible. They don't control thought matter. It's just, do they choose to hold on to it, to create an idea and actually like do something with it, right? So this skill you're going to learn today is going to be huge in your motherhood if you've had kids that worry about the thoughts that they choose to come in. And I say choose because it really is a choice once it gets to this spot, what they're choosing to hang on to and have an experience with. Every thought, every idea you choose to take has an emotional benefit. Like if you keep choosing it, there's an emotional benefit for you. So the first step that I'm going to teach you today is to identify what your emotions are, kind of starting from the bottom up. So a lot of people will have that emotional activation, and because of the idea and beliefs associated with it, they judge it and decide, is this a good thing, a bad thing? How do I feel about it? How does my mom feel about it? How does my husband feel about it? How does grandpa feel about it? How does my church feel about it, right? Then we start, everywhere that we've identified ourselves outside of ourselves, we start weighing against this physical experience. And that's our human experience. You're like, I'm always sad. I'd go, oh, that's so interesting. Let's go back up the line and see what's happening. Now, something that I want to also share Everyone's got the notes on the emotional bridge, yes? You'll see this emotional, do you see this emotion wheel? Oh, you see my whole screen. Oh boy. Well, maybe I'll move it over to here. But these are in the back of our Elevated Mother Experience workbook. P.S. So awesome. And when you get to that point where you're like, oh, look at all these different emotions. And this is just one example of the negative effect emotions. I also have another wheel of the positive effect emotions. Let's see if we can bring that up too. I don't know if you can see both. But it's probably too small if you're on your phone, but just know these exist. And teaching clients that, okay, once I'm in the feeling, once I'm in the activation, can I actually identify it? Because if I'm feeling like this morning when I was feeling a little bit like, am I adequate for this? Am I adequate to teach this? Like, is this, how am I feeling over here? And when I go, okay, I'm feeling a little inferior. And I go over to my emotion wheel and I go, well, that leads to insecurity. That's with inadequacy. That leads to fear. At the heart of it, I was feeling fear. Now, I know from teaching this material for a long time that that's a low vibe. So then I was like, oh, I don't want to be in a low vibe. Like, so then I got to go back and say, what belief was that? And I now know how to shift my beliefs. And I shifted it in an instant and was like, no, I know Cherie. She's not going to think anything. I am enough. What I know is enough. Then I moved up into the thought that said I wanted to teach this class. Boom, I'm back. Went back through the emotional thing, and now I'm excited because I shifted it and went into now I'm excited, right? Thrilled, enthusiastic, excitement. Okay, this is a positive effect emotion. I did that within probably just a few seconds. Okay, just a few seconds. But that came from years and years for me. I see our clients in the Elevated Mother Experience being able to grasp this concept and use it within just months. And I'm like, you guys are so lucky. You're so blessed, right? So let's just recap for a second. The mind has a thought. Thought is granted entrance into your subconscious programming, all your ideas, beliefs, and then you decide something about it, and then you have a physical activation, and then you're having your physical experience. That's what we learned on the whiteboard. And if you know, you're like, okay, now I'm in this feeling. So the step one, I'm going to teach you 3 steps. Step one is to sit in the feeling. When I say sit in it, is to sit in it. Like, be like, what am I feeling right now? I like to close my eyes. Like, what is it? Is it excitement? Is it fear? Do I feel mad? Am I angry? Am I feeling inferior? Am I feeling stupid? Am I feeling less than? Judged? What is this? And really sit in it. Witness the whole thing. Witness the whole experience. Because then I look at my emotion wheels and I go, well, what is that about? The second step, and going back to sitting with your feelings, make a note to feel it in the body. Sometimes when I'm really scared or I feel unsure, I feel it in my back. My back starts to heat up. If I'm super scared, I'll feel it in my belly. Like everyone feels it a little bit differently. But I've noticed when I'm scared about finances, I have a similar strain in my neck and this one shoulder. When I've started to notice over the years of being aware of this to start noting it in my body. And there's a lot of resources and books and things out there that this is actually kind of common. There's common nervous energies inside the body. And so we can learn to even start identifying where we're feeling stuff, and it helps us to know faster what emotion we're dealing with. That might be something you learn down the road, but I found it to be really fascinating. And so even when I'm working with my kids, when they're feeling big emotions, like, do you feel it in your body anywhere? And it's so interesting what they point out. They're so aware of it. It's beautiful. Um, so then step two, I get to ask myself and I say, what within me said that this feeling was the right one? What within me? Because nobody can make me feel something. I can't say my husband made me so mad. My kid made me so frustrated. My kids are driving me bonkers. Those are false, by the way. You are deciding that. It comes from within you, belief systems that you have. And so I'll say, what within me said that this is the right experience to be having? What within me said that? And really sit with that question. What message am I receiving from my belief systems? Does my spirit and my body agree? Do I feel discord here? Have I judged myself in this? What judgment am I making? Now, what's really awesome is a couple of years ago, I wrote a list of what is a good mom. According to my belief systems, what even is a good mom? Guys, do this for yourselves. Because when you get to this step two, you're going to be able to measure against that list. I wrote things like, she loves her children unconditionally. It's going to be really unique to you. What other things make a good mom? Write at least 10 points if you can, but 3, 5, whatever. 3 to 5 great points that you're like, what is a good mom? It's so hard for me to say this now because my original list said things like, she provides clothes, she provides food, she provides mind-opening experiences. I had this whole list. But as I worked with all of this, started understanding how much discord, physical fatigue, so many things that were happening to me. As I weighted against that list, I started to uncover that I was judging myself against this list. Heavy. If I couldn't afford the soccer, if I couldn't afford the brand new clothes, if I couldn't take my kids to dinner at that fun thing that all their friends were doing, I was judging it against this list. And in the end, you know, the thing that remains on my list, the mother that loves her kids unconditionally and loves herself unconditionally. The third thing I have on my list, depending on your belief system, is that I continually strive for oneness with my spirit and with God. Those are the 3 things that I now think about in my motherhood. Like, what is even a good mom? Because I've known moms that struggle to provide physical things for their kids, but man, they love them unconditionally. They are striving for unconditional love for themselves. And they know God real well. I get emotional. I remember this shift for myself. And I slowly started striking things off that list that it wasn't about any of that. It was all the stuff that mattered with love. My level of love for myself could be reflected to my children. It was huge, ladies. It was huge. And so now when I have a physical experience with my kids, I just ask, do I love my kid in this moment? What would my highest loving self do with this situation? And the levels of guilt, fatigue, all that stuff, shame, has slowly started to dissolve out of my life. It is so small how often those things ever happen anymore because I measure it against love. And that's all there was, right? So do this work. What do you think is a good mom? Write it all out and then really think to yourself, Do I believe these are true? And as you start to have these emotional activations and you go back up and say, what within me said that this was the right experience to have here, you might find what your beliefs are. In the Elevated Mother experience, we do this, we call it your mind mapping. We work with you extensively, supporting you. It's fabulous. It is fabulous. You can only learn so much on one of these Free Friday calls. But in the program, when you've got weeks, you've got the whole community, all the other moms doing this, we normalize the process. It's fantastic. So the third step to all of this. So you've, number one, right? You've identified the feeling. You're like, I'm having an emotional activation here. I'm witnessing it. I'm sitting in it. Then step two, what within me said that that was right? What within me said that that emotion, that experience was the right one? And you start to know your paradigms. You start to go, oh, this is what I think. It's causing discord within me. It's worth questioning, right? Anytime we suffer, I know I've said this on about a million calls, but anytime we suffer, we're attached to a belief. And a belief is just the thought we keep thinking that we've decided something about, and we're attached to it. So when I'm suffering, I like to go back and be like, what is this about? Because God never said that this life was to suffer. So usually those things I'm suffering the most about, I have found almost every time there's a misguided something in there, something I don't understand fully. And that has helped me a lot. So the third step, decide the story you're going to write then. Tell the truth over and over and over and over. If I go back to my belief and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to believe that anymore. So then I go back through the process and I go, well, this is what happened. I'm now going to believe that it doesn't matter what my daughter wears to school today. And it doesn't matter if my son isn't on the soccer team this season. It's going to be okay. God's got this. He knows my situation. Giving it to God. Now what do I feel? And in the more that I back things up, redirect, I decide the story. I take full responsibility for my experience, and I start to diminish self-doubt, self-distrust, and I start to build self-consciousness, self-confidence, self-trust, which spills into living in more faith. I now live in more faith every time. Because every experience I have, I now know I can shift. It's going to be okay. God's got this. And I do that more and more often to where I'm like, wow, my physical circumstances are completely neutral. I write the story about this. Nothing has meaning until I give it meaning. Nothing. Like, nothing in this life has meaning until I give it the meaning. I choose that. I choose the meaning I give my husband's behavior. I choose the meaning I give my kids' behavior. I choose the meaning I give the school policy. I choose the meaning of everything. It is within me. So I get to make the story. I start to then start being like, I am a good mom. Am I loving my kids? Am I loving myself? Am I with God? I'm a good mom. I'm an awesome mom. Like, if I'm the best mom ever because I'm doing this work. I am so awesome. My kids are dang lucky to have me as a mom, right? From the inside, the weight that you've given to the outside world starts to dissolve. The tunnel that you've been in begins to crumble. You realize you built the tunnel you thought you were in, that you were trying to get through, right? You find land beneath your feet. The edge rises to meet you. So many times we think there's these huge risks, and then all of a sudden, we just bring the ground up to meet us because we know we can choose to say that, and we can choose to believe it. The deep struggle that you thought you were in is all a dream anyway. It's a decision. Right? You know what's really cool is when I discover these belief areas that I'm like, man, this is an area of growth for me. One of those was how often I yelled at my kids. I was reactive and having like really triggering experiences with my kids. That's an area of growth. That's where you choose what books you're going to get, what coaches you're going to hire, what podcasts you'll listen to. Ladies, don't be listening to true crime podcasts. That is not going to help you. I'm just going to say it. I can't even tell you how many friends watch shows and stuff that it can be fine, but I can see that they are having emotional experiences with it just because I've coached for so long. And I'm like, that's so interesting to me that they choose that experience over and over and over. And then hear them complain about their apathy or their, different stuff. And you're like, that's so interesting. These 3 skills would help them, I believe. And you guys are on this call. You're learning this. High fives all around. Who's loving this? So just be aware that we've had some people come into our space. They're like, well, I hire coaches, but then nothing happens. And I'm going to tell you, this process is part of the problem, if you want to call it a problem. Part of the choice they keep making is that they actually aren't going back up the stream of thought, and they're actually unclear of what exactly is going on. So they get sucked into different marketing messages and they're unsure of what they actually want. They don't know the areas that are a challenge for them. And so they don't hire the coach or get into the program or read the book or whatever that's actually going to help them. So use these 3 steps to find what you're attached to, find the areas you'd like to explore. This is what is personal development. It's not just the book that you see everybody reading on Goodreads, and it's not the thing that the influencers are sharing. Do personal development. Now that you know this model, you go back up and be like, what am I attached to? What is this belief? And start getting personal with your development, right? Start loving yourself unconditionally. Start getting one with God. Start listening to what's in here. If you feel a lot of discord or fear a lot, I'm guessing there's a lot of mistrust personally here. There hasn't been a lot of living in faith and having that experience. I would love that for you. In the elevated mother experience, this is what we do. This is the work that you will do that will shift how you reach any goal, how you mother, how you live your very life. Like full on, right? My team is probably like, oh, because this is how you will increase your abundance financially, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, is knowing this model, figuring your own mind map out, and starting to write the story you want. It is fabulous. Fabulous. It'll be a hinge point in your life. It'll be that moment when you say, I remember when I did that mother program. That was when everything changed for me. And we have so many testimonials. It's so exciting. So if you would like to talk about the program, if you'd like to talk about this deeper, write in the comments. I'm ready. And your elevation specialist will reach out to you and we can have a chat. We'll lay out what it looks like, what our strategy is, and it'll be beautiful. So ladies, all the feelings that you feel in motherhood are at their core a choice that you've made, but a lot of them are unconscious. But now you know the model. You can work on it. You've got this. You are a great mom. It's your decision if you feel that or not, and you have the power to change it. You and God. So I hope you have an amazing weekend. I really trust that this was helpful, and I'm really blessed to be able to do this and be able to change the world with all of you. One changed mom changes a whole generation. Let it be you. Let it start with you. All right, you guys, have an amazing weekend.